Hello everyone. In previous lecture we discussed the reactions of phenol in which nitration of phenol we use dilute HNO3 and we get a mixture of the product, that is orthonitrophenol and para-nitrophenol, and when we use the concentrated HNO3 we get the picric acid, that is 2,4,6 trinitrophenol. After that we discuss halogenation. The halogenation of phenol, when phenol when treated with the Br2 in presence of water, we get the polyhalogenated derivatives, that is the name of this compound is 2,4,6 tribromophenol, and when phenol treated with Br2 in presence of carbon disulfide, we get the ortho and para product, in which the major is the para-bromophenol. Then sulfonation. For sulfonation, the phenols occurs readily and giving the mixture of ortho and para isomer. The ortho isomer predominates at low temperature while the para isomer at high temperature, and the ortho isomer can be changed to the para isomer by heating. Then we discuss the Riemann-Tiemann reaction. The Riemann-Tiemann reaction is a formulation reaction. That means the treatment of phenol with chloroform in aqueous hydroxide. There is introduced aldehyde group, that means CHO group, onto the aromatic ring. Then we discuss the Gatermon-Koch reaction. For Gatermon-Koch reaction, we get the phenols and phenolic ether undergo the formulation at para position, and the reaction with carbon monoxide and gaseous hydrogen chloride in the presence of the Lewis acid catalyst like AlCl3. And if here, in case of Gatermon-Koch reaction, if the para position is blocked, then the reaction take place at the ortho position. Up to this we cover in previous lecture. That means the reactions of phenol: nitration, halogenation, sulfonation, Riemann-Tiemann reaction, Gatermon-Koch reaction. Up to this, a fifth reaction we cover in previous lecture. Today we will start the remaining part, that is Hoben-Hosch reaction and the Schotten-Bowman reaction. These two reactions today we will discuss one by one. Number one, Hoben-Hosch reaction. In Hoben-Hosch reaction, here the synthesis of acyl phenol from phenols or the phenolic ether by the action of organic nitrile in the presence of hydrochloric acid and aluminum chloride as a catalyst, and this reaction is limited to the resorcinol and the phenolic ether. Here this is the structure of the resorcinol, and this is the nitrile, alkyl nitriles in presence of HCl and AlCl3. We get the one intermediate, and there is formation of this acyl group, or introduce this acyl group. Now then, Hoben-Hosch condensation. Here the mechanism. Here this alkyl cyanide on treatment with AlCl3, that means there is complex formed between this nitrogen carrying lone pair will attack on this AlCl3. There is addition of this AlCl3. Now then again further addition of this second mole of this AlCl3, and we get the one adduct, and it is nothing but this electrophile. We call it as the electrophile. Now then the reactant, the resorcinol, this will be attack on this carbon, then delocalize this bond, and here we get this formation of this adduct. Now the next step here, minus H plus or the aromatization here, or simultaneously there is removal of this AlCl3. In the next step, attack of water molecule on this carbon, this charge will be the delocalized here. Now then, and here we get the removal of here again, here addition of the water molecule and simultaneously removal of this AlCl3. In next step, removal of this ammonium chloride, that is NH4Cl, and we get the acyl group will be introduced on this phenol. That means this OH adjacent to this OH, we get the acyl group. This is a simple mechanism of the Hoben-Hosch condensation. That means in Hoben-Hosch condensation, the starting compound is resorcinol and alkyl cyanide, HCl, and the catalyst is the AlCl3, and it is again a formulation reaction, just insertion of this acyl group. Okay, and we get the acyl phenol. Now then the Schotten-Bowman reaction. In Schotten-Bowman reaction, Here, when the solution of phenol is shaken vigorously, that means we take the solutions of the phenol and it's shaken vigorously with benzoyl chloride, and it forms the phenyl benzoate, and this is known as the Scotton-Bowman reaction. That means we take the phenols and shake vigorously with the benzoyl chloride. This is the benzoyl chloride in presence of NaOH and H2O. This OH, this will be NaOH. It will attack this proton firstly, and we get this phenoxide ion. This O minus, it will be attack on this carbonyl and departure of this chlorine, and we get the phenyl benzoate. And in next case, instead of the phenol, sometimes use aniline plus benzoyl chloride. Now the nitrogen carrying this lone pair, this will be attack on this carbonyl and removal of this chlorine. We get the benzoyl aniline. This is simple Scotton-Bowman reaction. Now the next, the uses of phenol. The phenol is used as a antiseptic and disinfectant. In antiseptic, the chemical that kill microorganism but can be used safely on the skin. And in case of the disinfectant, the chemical that kill the microorganism, very powerful reagent, and as such is now not used on skin or the living tissues as too dangerous. Then phenol not used as a antiseptic, as it burn the skin. Second thing is that the substituted phenol can however be used as antiseptic, that is TCP or Dettol. Now then the next point, the thermosetting plastic, that is the resin. The thermosetting polymer soften on heating and can be molded into the different shapes, and these shapes remains on cooling. Example polyethylene, PVC. Then thermosetting polymers set hard on formation and cannot be softened or molded. It is bakelite. These are the simple uses of the phenol. That means mostly it is used as antiseptic and disinfectant to kill the microorganisms. Okay, this is about the uh, phenol. We finish the second topic, that is phenol, in this way. Okay, thank you.